Today I'm going to go through some of the 50th anniversary series releases as they came out in Japan. So the series was a little bit different over here to America. Some of the albums were the same, but there were also a couple of Japan-only compilations and a really nice Japan-only box set, and I'll get to those later on in the video. This is the second album, and the obi here, the blue and white obi, this was the standard obi that they used for this particular series, and most of the records appeared with the gold 50th anniversary label, just as they did in America. And the 50s reissues were all in mono, just like this one here. This is another example, Golden Records, same obi, same gold label, also in mono. There were also, of course, in America some new compilations, and they were also issued in Japan. And this is the Rocker LP. Right about this time, they started to actually put the release date of albums on the LP covers. It's going to be difficult to see here, but in the bottom left corner, it actually says I.2.21, and I is a code for 1985, and 221 is February 21st. And the back of the obi here has a list of about 70 albums, all Elvis albums, which were available at that time, still available in the mid-1980s. I've mentioned before how difficult it is to get cassettes, Japanese cassettes. So I was quite pleased to get this one recently. This is the Rocker cassette. There's no mention of the 50th anniversary series on there, and as was standard for Japanese cassettes, it was released in with a slipcase. And there's no actual J card inside the box because of the slipcase, and there's the cassette itself. And again, standard to Japanese cassettes was an insert with all the lyrics and some Japanese notes. Another album which also came out in America was the Reconsider Baby album, and I showed this one in my first ever video actually back in September last year, and the record actually appears translucent brown if you hold it up to the light, and apparently that vinyl was called JVC Super Vinyl. And a lot of other Elvis records at the time were being manufactured using that particular vinyl. So there are actually lots of different albums from this period, the 1980s, which are translucent. If you hold them up to the light, they appear brown. Away from the light, they just appear black. This back cover has the code here, I621, so that tells you that was released in June 1985. Another one from the series here, always on my mind. I remember buying this album back in England in 1985 and kind of thinking it was a bit pointless really, and it was kind of the end of my Elvis buying days at the time. I was buying records by other people, and I'd kind of stopped buying Elvis records by that point. This is the Japanese version though, exactly the same, except this is on black vinyl. It seems as good a time as any to show you the only coloured vinyl made in Japan LP that ever came out, and it was this one here, Elvis Blue. And there are actually two versions of this album. This one has a slightly wider obi, and on the right side here it's telling you that it's a blue vinyl record, and it also comes with a poster. There is another version which came out later, which is missing this strip on the right side. And this is that record, blue vinyl. So this is the only LP, coloured vinyl LP, made in Japan. There you go. And it also came with this giant poster. I'm not going to fold the whole thing out, but there you go, you can see it. So back to the 50th anniversary series. They also reissued some albums in Japan which were not issued elsewhere. So for example, the Moody Blue album here you can see with this 50th anniversary obi. However, you can see that the LP is still on the orange RCA label, and that is because this is basically just a repackaged original LP. I think they just had some overstocks, and they did this with a few other albums as well. For example, Gold Records Volume 4, Fun in Acapulco, which I talked about before as well. This is the original copy of Moody Blue from September 1977, and the cover, the record and the insert are all exactly the same as the copy I just showed you. The only difference is the obi. In fact, this one has two obis here. There's a thin black one here, which kind of works like a black armband. It mentions Elvis's date of birth and the date that he died down at the bottom, and it says Forever Elvis in Japanese. And other albums too came with this little thin black strip as well at the time. At the beginning of the video I mentioned there were a few Japan-only releases in the 50th anniversary series, so let's go through those now. This is the first one. It's a soundtrack compilation, Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, and it gathers the 12 songs from those three films. And side 1 is basically the Love Me Tender songs plus 2 from Flaming Star, and then on side 2 you've got the 5 songs from Wild in the Country, and it ends with Summer Kisses, Winter Tears. The second one is a similar idea, this time combining the songs from Jailhouse Rock and Kid Galahad. There were just 6 songs in both of those movies, so it's perfect for an album like this. All the Jailhouse Rock songs on one side and the Kid Galahad songs are on side 2. These were actually cheaper than some of the other albums in the series. These were only 1,800 yen, so they were budget releases, whereas all the other albums were over 2,000 yen. Now the last one I'm going to show you is the best one really. This is a box set, and it's called the Complete Singles, and this is an 11 LP set. So the box is basically very similar to the Elvis Presley design. It's open at one end, and it has a numbered sticker at the back here, and you can see it has Elvis 50th anniversary logo here as well. At one time this actually had an obi as well, which wrapped right round. It wasn't blue and white, actually it was pink, but it's very difficult to keep that obi in nice condition on a big thick box like that. So most of the time, this set turns up without the obi. Being Japanese, it comes with a very generous booklet. As with a lot of Japanese booklets, it's heavy on information and light on photographs. There is some information which you can easily understand if you don't speak Japanese, because it has all the chart positions or chart data for Billboard and Cashbox. That's all in English, and it also has a discography as well with all the B-sides. And then alongside photographs you have basically a chronology going right through till 1985 actually. And then at the back it has all the lyrics to the songs in English. I'll just take you through the albums one by one. This is the first one, and it starts at the beginning with That's Alright, and the last song on side 2 is Don't Be Cruel. So it's the American A-sides in chronological order, and it has on the back of each picture cover it has the photographs of the original picture sleeves, and in the case of the Sun records it has the labels. You can also see there are some bootleg picture sleeves here as well, because the originals were not released in picture sleeves. So the second one, this one goes from Blue Suede Shoes down to Jailhouse Rock in 57. Again, more bootleg picture sleeves and some of the original picture sleeves as well. Disc 3, you'll have noticed by now that the picture is the same on all the sleeves, but the colour is slightly different in each case. This one starts with Don't from 57 and goes through till Are You Lonesome Tonight in 61. This one is disc 4, starting with Surrender and going through until Bossa Nova Baby. I'll just show you this disc so you can see what they all look like. So it's on the 50th anniversary gold label. Disc 5 starts with Kissing Cousins and goes through to Santa Claus is Back in Town. So we're at the mid-60s now, and disc 6 starts with Tell Me Why and goes through until Guitar Man. Disc 7 starts with Stay Away and goes through until Kentucky Rain. Disc 8 starts with The Wonder of You and goes through to An American Trilogy. Disc 9 starts with Burning Love and goes through to Moody Blue. Disc 10 starts with Way Down, and then this is almost all posthumous singles. It goes through to Always on My Mind. And the last one, disc 11, this is actually a collection of A-sides from Japan. So it starts with Love Me, that's the original picture sleeve from Love Me from 1957, and then King Creole, A Mess of Blues, GI Blues, Wooden Heart, Blue Hawaii, Fun in Acapulco, It Feels So Right. Easy Question is on one of the earlier discs. You Don't Know Me, and Memories, and Life, and Only Believe is also on one of the other discs. And then finally it has Polk Salad Annie at the bottom. That particular set also came with a single that you could send away for. That was promo only single, and that's this one here. And on one side it has the US mail, and on the other side it has Mama Liked the Roses. It's an RCA sleeve, and the record is also on the gold 50th anniversary, and it has a little bit of Japanese text around about there saying that it's a promotional item. So there you go, that was part of the Japanese 50th anniversary series. There are others, but you get the basic idea. I've shown you the most interesting ones, which were the 2 movie compilations and the complete singles box set. So let's leave it there for today, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Take care.